And hello to all friends, potatoes are with you. And today, I would like to show you just a bombastic map of my subscribers where he built very interesting factories, including the factory where he combined Crete together with botany, and in the end, it turned out just unrealistically cool. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. I also want to say hi to Roma, but if you also want me to say hi to you, then just write a creative comment, and maybe you will get into the next video. But we're getting started. By the way, the subscriber's name is Shupakwas, so I say hello to you. He threw me the map and the assembly. I just went in and looked, and just freaked out what he built here. First of all, as far as I understand, he played here with his friends, so it's not all to his credit, as well as his friends. First of all, this is the first point, there are not so many interesting mechanisms here. First of all, it's just a beautiful house. But there is also a basement. Let's go into observer mode and see what's here. As far as I understand, he had a recycling here. Again, it is quite simple. Here we have now used some kind of filter, obviously accidentally deleted. As far as I understand, you just throw ores from above, they are processed and compressed here. But it's not really that interesting. I'll show you the juice at the end of the series. There will really be a very cool combination of botany and crate, which literally creates a very productive mono farm and infinite, and there is no need to interfere with it in any way. But let's just take a look at what he's done here with the cream. There we saw a mill standing on top. As far as I understand, all this is transformed into a fast speed, and accordingly, all the devices are here. They're from below, as far as I remember. Yes, here we have 2 washing machines. More precisely, we have smelters. Very handy things. I advise you to do the same. Instead of stoves, put a fan there, lava in front of the fan, and then just make it even possible to have a gutter like this, and a chest on top, just to throw it here. And by the way, you can also put some kind of funnel on the filter from below, so that everything is automatically selected, and there will really be a very good stove. Then here, he is not interested in everything, and immersive engineering, and here we also seem to have no agrita. But it's really done too, very cool. I also wanted to show you an interesting idea of how he made Earth energy generation of energy in immersive engineering. You can see these wires going, and here we have such a thing here. These are heat generators, they are called that. Let's check it again. But the thermoelectric generator here, he has lava and water here. Accordingly, the temperature difference is all produced. Not very much, but look at the number of these generators, and, accordingly, as far as I understand, there is enough energy for him here, and it looks all the more pretty cool. Also here, he has some medium voltage capacitors that just store energy here. Well, I still didn't understand what he had here. We fly out of this house, and also here, I noticed just a purely decorative thing. This does not apply to farms in any way, but still, I also want to show you just what talented subscribers I have. Look, here he has some kind of fan running. The mill is more accurate. There's nothing in these houses, but it's very cool. It's like even this is generation, but as far as I understand, they did it all with their own hands. So there is some kind of Chinese castle like this. This is as far as I understood Danch. By the way, I do not know what kind of mod this is. Be sure to write in the comments, because they definitely did not build it themselves. Because there are spawners somewhere, some chests are so dangerous. In short, it's definitely not their handiwork. Well, now I've teleported to other coordinates, where this very cool company is located. Before that, I want to show you that he also built a scratch there. First of all, he has energy production going on here. As far as I understand it, these are paired fans like this. Let's take a look at it, and it's not clear yet. Look here, he has 1 and also 2. And I'm very interested. As I understand it, they work at the same speed, since they don't stop each other. Or is this available by combining? Honestly, I didn't know that. And maybe if it really works like that, then this is a new discovery for me personally. As for you, write in the comments. Here he has the whole thing going down. We go down, and then the basement begins. Look here, he also has immersive engineering. And here too, an interesting thing is that he divided himself a washing, then frying, and also melting. Again, melting is lava, then it's hot here, it's a light, and finally washing. It's just water. Also very convenient. Again, I would only add funnels here, so that everything is automatically taken away. And then, there's one of these interesting mechanisms here. I think that you are also aware of it. We saw almost the same one in the previous house, but here it is slightly improved. Namely, let's take a look at it. Let's say, I want to recycle iron here. Let's give 8 pieces, and also let's say gold. Let's assume here are 10. Let's imagine that I came back with this from the mine, but I didn't dig very well, but still. Look, we have going on here, before the crushing of this whole thing, and then on conveyor belts it flies away here. Here we do not immediately absorb it into the chest, because there is a washing first. Washing with iron. What's going on here? As a result, it turns into nuggets, and, accordingly, nuggets are pumped out here, and go to compression into ingots, yes. Then the whole thing is pumped out. Here you can see the gold bars have already gone, and are moving here, which seems very cool to me. By the way, I haven't seen any iron here, but it seems to me that we have at least doubled it. And the gold, as you can see, we threw in 10 and got 24. In short, a very convenient thing, and moreover fully automatic. Well, you just upload the whole thing here, and everything is processed accordingly. I advise you to do this as well. If anything, we have a fan blowing in front of which there is water. Let's see how it all works around here. By the way, such a cool technical wall stands, closes all these mechanisms, and there is a completely small number of shafts standing, just to power it all in the right direction. By the way, he has a very interesting job done here. Take a look. There is a mechanical tape that goes all the way up here, just to be powered by this shaft, and here there is a funnel, made quite interesting. Then, there is also a shaft here. It feeds this press, respectively, and finally somewhere else forward. And here she has other devices. This is the farm that I wanted to show you, but it's nothing compared to what he did there next. He combined botany and ket again, which eventually allowed him to produce just a huge amount of mana. That's real. I stood there for about 2 minutes, and a lot is being worked out. You're going to love it now. So, let's fly out of here. Take a look at another house. It's also very beautifully done here. That's really cool to do in survival. Look here, he apparently has some kind of barrel, a restaurant. I don't know what it is. In general, look here, he has all sorts of dishes, cooking here. It's very cool done. As if you can even shoot some kind of movie or the like here. Then she has it here. Look what he wanted to show. This is his class. Yes, of course I will leave this without comment. I think that you will find something to say yourself. Also, here, he does not have an automated farm, but he has all sorts of plants growing here, like industrial hemp for example. And finally, let's move on to the main building. Here it is probably the hero of the occasion himself, because I really liked it very much. This is just the tip of engineering thoughts. Because look, as you know, I think that you all already know this farm. This is a farm with a tree. Yes, a tree farm is a pretty simple farm, but look, it's made pretty big in the first place. Everything for what? Here we also have these big trees. This is all done for large production of wood. There is also a lot of saws here. There are all sorts of chests, and then, finally unloading. There was such an experienced entrance here, which I found, and look, we have a lever to the farms. We launch this thing, and then fly out of here. The movement begins here. The transmission is going on here now, and here in general, there is wood extraction. Again, here the seedlings are all put. Next, let's go down again. There is a factory lever here. We turn back, and there is a very interesting mechanism going on here. Let's turn it on, probably right away. Ladies, I press the lever, and all this is transmitted somewhere by wireless redstone. As a result, it all activates. I'll switch to observer mode for convenience, and let's see. Unloading is underway here. It all goes into a golden chest, and look from here, we have wood flowing out. It is from here. Don't pay attention here, it's just made for convenience. Here again, there is a latent funnel that pumps out only wood. It's moving here. It's going to get hot right away. Namely, the melting is more accurate, because it's important for us to melt all the wood into coal. Then, we will redistribute coal with quite interesting mechanisms, but we will talk about this a little later. We are looking now. There is wood coming here. Now it will be possible to unload soon. No, there's still quite a long mining going on, so okay. In general, wood will come here, remelting, and then, only the already melted coal is loaded into this chest, one piece at a time. It doesn't matter which one. Here it's just as an example. Then this coal is pumped out here. He goes, passes under the chest here, and goes into such a tunnel of Latuno. Here, it is evenly redistributed to the left and right. Let's see now what kind of setup is there with a wrench. So, it's not very visible here. Something is written, but in general, you can see from the picture what kind of setting is there. We switch back to observer mode and watch. Here, it is evenly redistributed, that is, on an equal part. Let's say 2 pieces here, and 2 pieces here, but I'm conditionally saying this. Then, it will be important for us to redistribute them as much as twice, that is, to divide them. There are still such brass tunnels here, but with the same setup. This tape goes forward here, and here in the left. Accordingly, everything is equally divided here as well, and on the other hand, on the left, everything is the same. Then, with the help of these mechanical tapes, all this finally passes into our building, where the mana itself will be generated, as you might have guessed before, based on the flame of the edge, or as it is now called endoflame. Look here, these mechanical belts, with the help of funnels, load the whole thing with ejectors. Here the subscriber has not completed a little, because he fumbles only for technical mods, that is, such as a raid. He doesn't fumble for botany. Well, now I'm going to show you how to finally finish it all. And maybe the subscriber will also look. First of all, I want to tell you that you have a lot of fun. But look here, everything is filled in. Everything is filled in here. Again, there's a huge farm there. It's wood. The remelting is just unrealistically fast. Here we have a very good speed too. And therefore, I think that there will be no problems with coal here. And most likely, it is possible to do not for blocks here, let's say 6, 8, or even maybe 10. And then there will be just a huge output at all. So how do we continue this whole thing? First of all, what are we going to do with you? We need to make sure that these ejectors work and emit charcoal, oddly enough. It will be absorbed by these ETA flames, and already with the help of coal, which they will absorb, produce mana. This mana will be transferred to the distributors, and then, as I came up with it, it will be transferred to the main distributor, which will already distribute all the mana to the pools. Let's do it with you now. Here he experimented with such an hourglass, and I also did a little bit here, and revealed that somewhere it is necessary to set a delay of 10 seconds. That is, we take 10 sands with you. Let's do it now. Here are 10 pieces about that, because I had done 8 before, and there was a bit of an overabundance of coal. I think that 10 is definitely enough for us. Then, we put these hourglasses over the ejectors everywhere here. And now for each hourglass, and make a dose of 10 sand. Here, 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 and here. Then watch what happens. 1 coal will be ejected every 10 seconds. As a result, it will all work in such a way that every alien will be involved. That is, look, they are quickly thrown out like that. Now this endoplay does not absorb anything, because there will simply be nowhere to spread mana. So let's do the following with you now. First of all, I will take all the items from botany. Here it will be the staff of the forest, also revealed here that it will be necessary to have elven mana distributors, namely somewhere 2 pieces, although maybe even 3, and it will also need Gaia. Otherwise, in this configuration, there will simply be an overabundance of mana, and it will evaporate, which we absolutely do not need. After all, why did we do all this? However, if you have a farm by itself more, you will need to put Gaia distributors everywhere, most likely, or incrementally. First let's say Elvish, then the traffic police have to go, otherwise you will simply lose mana. Also, we will take a pool of mana with you, and give us the best distributor. It's best to even put even more of these mana distributors later, because mana will really be generated a lot. Again, I stood here for 2 minutes, and somewhere probably already the 1/8 of the pool was filled. I think you understand that if you stay at home for a long time, time flies very quickly, and everything will simply overflow. Therefore, put as many pools as possible in the end, a distributor of all sorts of things and the like. So, I'm talking about something, let's continue. We take first of all, the elven mana distributor in this case, we put it here so that he looks, then let's look here. So that look here, we have a photo of the ejector standing here, the ejector is here and accordingly, we will have our all distributors standing here. Next, let's put Guy here, and Guy here, so that he looks already here, although you can do a little on a hill. Let's put a block, or some prettier one here, let's say like this. Then here I put the traffic police, here we will have a mana distributor, and here on the 4 sides, I will put 4 pools of mana, respectively. Then it will all have to be directed somehow. I take the staff of the forest. First of all, I will direct this main distributor of our traffic police to this distributor. Then this distributor to this distributor, this one to this one, and finally this one to this one. That's it. We did it. Now it will be necessary to tie these endoplays correctly. I suggest that we tie 4 dashes of 5 pieces to each distributor, that is, to this elvish one, to this one, here, and move on to the next one. Here we already have 5 endoplaymans, so let's tie 5 to this, like this. And accordingly, look, here we already have a fairly large load on the traffic police distributor. Namely, it turns out that 9 of these are the end of the flame and additionally that is, 1, 2 and also 3. We could still put it here, but okay, the subscriber didn't do that, so we'll skip it. And finally, we turned to the last mana distributor go. We're all tied to it. And now we're looking at what's going on. The first one is not overloaded, it manages to give all the mana. The next one is also not overloaded, but if there was a lot of mana before, a large flow, then it would most likely be overloaded, and there would simply be a loss of mana, but it would just be overflowing. And when mana flew into it from behind, it would simply disappear, which we absolutely do not need. In this case, I advise you to put either mana distributors, traffic police, or just some kind of distributors, so that somehow this mana is all distributed, and, accordingly, it reaches in one piece. Then, the penultimate distributor of game mana does not overexert himself, and the latter is also all an excellent student, and everything comes here. It's all distributed evenly, because here we have a distributor. We can also put 1 pool of mana, and let's just see how it will fill up quickly, or even diluted. Now you're just going to be blown away, as it will be very fast. I'll put it here, and yes, we're looking very, very fast now. It's already been a quarter, already half, now 3/4, and finally, it will now be completely filled with the 4th shot of this distributor. Therefore, I advise you to install at least a mana dispenser with 4 pools. That is in this way, or even more of these distributors, so that they are distributed there. In general, so that the mana was where to go. Because, even with this configuration, how many do we have here? Let's do the math. 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 are just up to the flame, and it will fill up really very quickly. Again, this farm is completely infinite. And by the way, I want to tell you why we created this farm. Because my subscriber noticed that his friends very often went to the mine for coal, mined it, formed everything. They were engaged in botany at that time just the same. That is, as far as I understand, they extracted mana with the help of endoflame. And he accordingly decided to come up with such a farm near a tree, and then, so that everything here melts perfectly, redistributes. And here we have a lot of coal. Again, we have an overabundance of coal here. It is not necessary to make exactly these sizes, or it is necessary to increase simply the number of these ejectors and endoplamens. Then, it will be just a cannon and a lot of mana. Where to put it, you asked. For example, you will be able to pump your pickaxe, namely, here is such a digger. As you know, he needs a lot of mana, and if you have a lot of friends, you can build such a farm again. And you will have somewhere to put the fog, because they take it very quickly. That is, look, I throw it here, and all the mana just flows away very quickly. I throw it here. Again it disappears and it almost doesn't charge. And that's just the same for the later stages. I advise you to make this farm. Although, it may even be worth making such a farm in the early stages, only smaller. Let's assume that the tree is mined twice as much or even less, even as we did in an infinite such energy generator. Accordingly, there will be less coal produced here, but you will also have a smaller point. In short, the farm is really very cool. It is extremely clear if you understand it. And therefore, I advise you to make it for everyone. And if you have any other very cool ideas for combining the kit fashion with some other mod, be sure to send me a map, right somewhere. If it is a very good farm, I will definitely show it. Because, I absolutely welcome all sorts of inventors who combine kit by itself, and so creative fashion, with other mods. This is very cool, and I think it should be done. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.